We believe that for you to truly heal from the inside out, it is so important and imperative for you to understand what your inner unit or what your core is, how it works, what are the muscles, how do they play off of each other. It is so important for you to understand that, because that's how we connect to it. Once we connect to it, we can then start to control it. We can then start to strengthen it, and then we can integrate it into our lives, which is where we find healing, which is where we find freedom and movement, symptom-free living. So what we want to do today is we kind of want to explain to you what this inner unit is, and then most specifically, a connection breath, which is where you will start to tap into and control this inner unit. So what I want you to think about is I want you to think about a balloon or maybe a Coke can. That is kind of how our core is made up. On the top is going to be our diaphragm. This is a muscle that's on the inside of our rib cage, and it is responsible for helping us breathe, pulling air into our lungs. On the bottom, directly underneath that, is our pelvic floor. This is a group of muscles at the bottom inside of our pelvis. They're like a hammock or a sling, the very bottom of us. This muscle is responsible for control of our bowels, bladder, sexual function, support of our organs, and support of our hips. On the outside, all the way around, we have a muscle called our transverse abdominis. This is a muscle that attaches to our rib cage and to our pubic bone. It goes around and it attaches to our spine. So you can see that with these muscles together, along with our bones, create a closed system. This system should be closed and all day long kind of plays off of each other, with one of its main goals is managing pressure. When we have too much pressure over and over again inside of our abdominal wall, that can manifest itself in a lot of different things. Pelvic floor symptoms, hernias, hemorrhoids, pain. And so we want to tap into it to make sure that we are managing pressure and controlling pressure the best that we can. So how we do that is we tap into and manually override this kind of system that we know is happening, should be happening at a subconscious level all day long. And what that is when we inhale, our diaphragm should contract and it should push down into our bellies to help bring air into our lungs above it. When it contracts, what happens is our belly should rise, our transverse abdominis kind of lengthens to get out of the way, as well as our pelvic floor as our diaphragm comes down. And then conversely, as we exhale and blow out, our diaphragm actually travels up in our abdominal cavity, kind of vacuuming or drawing in our belly as well as our pelvic floor. So it turns into this piston, which allows us to control pressure as opposed to inhaling, squeezing everything, and picking up a box or getting out of bed and making that room that should be this big over and over and over again, which is where we normally find our clients and our patients. So we think that it's important for you guys to understand, as we inhale, everything drops, we relax all of our muscles, and then as we exhale, we're going to blow out, our diaphragm rises, and that's where we're going to cue a contraction to follow that up. Inhale, relax, exhale, contract.